So here we have a little bit of a challenging SAT question, and the question states a triangle with angle measures 30 degrees, 60 degrees, and 90 degrees has a perimeter of 18 plus 6 root 3. What is the length of the longest side of the triangle? So a 30, 60, 90 triangle to us is a special triangle, and we have to know the ratio of this special triangle, right? The ratio in this case is going to be 1 is to root 3, which is to 2. Now, let's plug this into our triangle to see how it would look. So, our first opposite, which is opposite to 30 degrees, right? So basically, this side, so if I was opposite to 30, this side would be 1. And then the opposite to 60 degrees would be root 3. And the hypotenuse would be 2. So this is what our special triangle would look like in this case. This is the basis of this question. Without this, we can't progress much in the question. All right, so now we can actually label our sides here to an extent. We can call the side opposite to 30 degrees as x. So I'm going to call this as just x. And I'm going to call the side opposite to 60 degrees, which is over here, I'm going to call it as x root 3, right? And this, the side opposite 90 degrees, is the longest side in this case, we're going to call 2x. Because we're trying to find the value here of the longest side, which is going to come from the value of x. Okay. Now what's really important is that we need to add up our sides, right? If we have x plus x square root 3 plus 2x, it should be equivalent to the perimeter that we have here, which is 18 plus 6 root 3. So let's write that down. So if we were to equalize our perimeters, or the variables and the perimeter, so we'd have x, right, plus x root 3 plus 2x, and this is going to be equal to this 18 plus 6 root 3. Okay, now we have to combine our like terms. We can potentially just factor out an x from here. So we're going to have 1 plus square root 3 plus 2, and we have an x factored out right there. Okay, so we can basically simplify x plus x root 3 plus 2x into what we have here, right? That means we can also simplify it even further by combining more like terms like 1 and 2 together to get 3 plus root 3. Alrighty, now let's make the final equation that will help us solve this problem. So 3 plus root 3 is going to be equal to, remember, but don't forget one important thing that we actually forgot here is our x. You guys might have noticed it, an x. Don't forget your x, guys. So we have an x, and this is going to be equal to 18 plus 6 root 3. Now we just have to solve for this x. So remember, just divide both sides. So 18 plus 6 root 3 divided by 3 plus root 3. Okay, so now what do we do now? We've got something that looks rational, right? So in this case, what we have to do is multiply the denominator and numerator by the conjugate, which is, in this case, if we have 3 plus root 3, our conjugate, I'll write that down here, is 3 minus root 3. Okay, so that's going to be our conjugate that we're going to use here. Remember, it's going to be like this. Your x is going to be equal to 18 plus 6 root 3 divided by 3 plus root 3, and you're just going to be multiplying by 3 minus root 3 divided by 3 minus root 3. This doesn't really change anything except it helps us solve this, right? Now, if we have something like this, all we have to do is follow distributive property, right? Let's follow distributive property and solve this. So I'm going to do an arrow here, and I'm going to actually, there's probably a better way to do this, but I don't want to make it messy. So we'll split the numerator and the denominator. I'll write out over here, numerator. We'll start with the numerator. Okay, so for our numerator, we've got 18. According to FOIL, we have 18 times 3. Right, and then we have minus 18 times root 3 plus 6 root 3 multiplied by 3 minus 6 root 3 times root 3. Okay, so this is going to be equal to, we have 54, right? 18 times 3 minus 18 root 3 minus the totality of 18. And this will give us an answer of 36. So we found our numerator. Now let's work on our denominator. Okay, usually if you're solving this question, go ahead, put everything into one big fraction and solve it. That would be nice, but I just wanted to help you guys visualize the numerator and the denominator. Okay, so the denominator is a little bit more easy. We're going to have 3 plus root 3, right, times 3 minus root 3. And this will just simply give us 9 minus 3, which is just equal to 6. So since, remember, we set our x equal to this, right? So this is a numerator, this is a denominator. So what are we getting on this side? On the right-hand side, we're getting 36 over 6. And remember, x is equal to this. So x is equal to 36 over 6, right? So then x is equal to 6. But we are not finished yet, right? The question asks for the hypotenuse. And the hypotenuse is 2 times x. So therefore, it's going to be, therefore, we can write the hypotenuse is 12 whatever units, right? They give us units. No, they don't. So if we have 12, that should be answered. That's because 2x, right? And if we were just plug in 6, it would just be 2 times 6, which gives us 12. So that's it to solving this question. I hope this video helped. Have a good day.